When I got back, I realized I didn't have any bread. No bread. It seems like when you don't have bread on the homestead, you're like, you don't have nothing to eat.
Measuring stumps. Think about hiring somebody to grind them off and see how much money it's going to cost me.
This is a hardy lilac shrub. So, coming in from being on vacation for a few days, coming in and happened to go straight to your garden, I had to plant some of my cabbage. Yeah, it was all cabbage that I had to get out there because when I got back and went to the greenhouse, even though I watered them really good, they're a cold weather plant and it just got too hot in there for it. So as soon as I got home and got everything put up, I had to get that cabbage out. So then that got me going. So I went out there to the greenhouse and I have got a little raised bed out there that I'm going to be planting all kinds of flowers and just different medicinal plants and just a little bit of everything out there by the greenhouse. And out there by the greenhouse is a big garden too. So I went and done that, got it filled up, and planted my seeds. And I had some Chinese cabbage and some more broccoli plants in there that need to get out. So I just stuck them there too. When I got back, I realized I didn't have any bread. No bread. It seems like when you don't have bread on the homestead, you're like, you don't have nothing to eat.
I planted them potatoes first week of March, didn't I? Or the second week?
I don't remember.
more peas than you need.
I'll help you in just a minute.
Heck, you're all over. What you do with them wire ties?
They're on sitting on my wagon. That's Mr. Brown's potato row. Ain't nothing coming up yet. But he planted them later than most people. He usually has a pretty good crop of potatoes. I wanted to show you what I've got planted in just one of my early beds here. And I mean, there's quite a bit planted in this one bed. It's enough for me and Mr. Brown, that's for sure. And I've got several kinds of lettuces here. I've got some romaine. I've got, I think some of that may be butter crunch. I can't remember now. I've got some purple basil. I've got some onions. I just kind of stuck me a few onions in here down the side. And I've got lettuce all the way back in there. Different lettuces. I've got some dill stuck in there. And way back there against the very edge, all the way across, I've got zinnias planted, and they're starting to come up all the way across the back. I've got broccoli. And I've got some cauliflower. I've got some Italian flat leaf parsley. I've got some orange Swiss chard. It's the first time I ever planted orange Swiss chard. I've got some English thyme over here in the corner. And all of this is cauliflower. And if you see, I got zinnias planted all down the side of that and all down the back. And they're coming up pretty good. So just in this one container here, you can see I've got quite a bit planted. And I'm just getting started. This is just one of my little beds for my cooler weather crops. And this is not all of my broccoli and stuff. I've got some still in the greenhouse that are not very big yet, and I don't have them out yet. I'm fixing to cut me some lettuce here to start my week out with. Some of it's plenty big enough. I don't like it to get too big. And then I may even snip off some of this purple basil. But the onions are doing pretty good. I usually plant quite a bit of dill, but this is just my starter bed right here for my cold weather crops right here. Right down here, I didn't even get this full of dirt yet, but I went ahead and planted radishes in there, and they're all coming up. This is just still, this is in my high tunnel. But anyways, I had all this planted already. Then I've got some kale that's come up. I think that's some carrots left over from last year. And then my mint. And I've got, all of this is the French breakfast radishes. That's some of my favorite. And they come up so easy. I just broadcast them in there, water them down real good, and they come up really good. And I've got my mints coming back. Of course, it comes back every year and about drives you nuts. I've got more mint for many, many years put up. My spinach is coming up good. It's been pretty cold, pretty wet, but the spinach has popped up, and the sweet green peas are starting to take off and climb. They've had a lot of rain and a lot of cold on them, but they're getting some good sunshine today. But I think they're going to take off here pretty soon and make me some good old sweet green peas. My onions are looking good, coming on up. They've had a little bit of rain on them, of course. And this is a very old bed back here in the very back of the garden. And I usually stick garlic and onions back here. And you see the onions have come up. So they popped up and they're doing good. And then on this one end, I've got some garlic. If you look back there in the back, there's a mullein plant. We've got mullein that grows everywhere up here on this hill. I've got this is a hardy lilac shrub. It is called a President Grevy. And I'm fixing to plant this out here by my high tunnel. And when I get done with my bedroom out here, I'll be able to open the window and I'll be able to smell these lilacs on this bush. I got this at Home Depot. It was $12.98. So I hope it thrives and does really good. You can see it was getting root bound. I'm just going to kind of massage the roots like this just a little bit. It looks pretty healthy. And it's got another one coming up the side right there. Most of their plants at Home Depot, they looked really good. They were really healthy and looked really good. But I can tell you, trees and plants are really expensive. But I've been wanting a lilac bush. I haven't planted one since we moved here. So this will be my first one. I've got me a hole dug. And I dug the hole, just going to plant it just to the top right here. And I put a little bit of compost in the bottom, and then I'll water it. And then we'll just hopefully watch it grow. The pigs are doing good. They're growing off good. That is pork chop and bacon and peaches. It takes a little bit longer for the coonies to get big enough to butcher, but they'll be well worth it. The pond is full, and it's pretty muddy looking because we've had so much rain. But it's good and full. It'd be nice if it'd stay that way all summer. And I wanted to show my friend Michelle, aka Gertie, that her willow tree is a-growing. It's getting tall. We planted it out here at the side of the pond, hoping it would take root and do good. And I think it's going to. I hope it just gets so big and so healthy and it just kind of willows over the pond. That's why I wanted it planted there. So Michelle, I hope you're watching. you can see how your willow tree is really growing. It's already got leaves on it. Always makes you feel good when your pond's good and full. We done.
Measuring stumps. Think about hiring somebody to grind them off and see how much money it's going to cost me.
How many you got?
6. Over 100 inches. Used to be about, that'd be $350. I don't know what it'll be now.
A lot of money, grind stumps.
Yep. A lot of work to dig down with a pickaxe and saw them off too. I'm gonna extend this driveway and make it wider, so I got to get rid of them. Get rid of these stumps.
What do we do on our days off?
Work.
Work.
I got to go fishing one day.
We went to Springfield for 2 days.
Yeah, that was a nice trip.
We don't let no grass grow under our feet much, do we?
No, unfortunately. I don't know. Good Lord tells us to stay busy. We just had a sermon on that this morning, didn't we?
Yep. Well, we gotten quite a bit of rain.
Lots of rain. We got, I don't know, this last round around 3 inches. I didn't dump it from the time of 4, and we had 3 8/10, so I don't know. 3 plus probably.
But we were blessed that rain's all we got, because there's a lot of people that was lost their lives and homes and
horrible.
Businesses and
terrible.
Bad thing.
Terrible. We pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
Bad deal. Talks like we're gonna have a bunch more of it this spring.
A lot more storms.
Yeah, I watch. A lot of people watch Ryan Hall, y'all.
We do too.
And he says the way the weather pattern is set up this spring, it could be very rough.
Mm-hmm.
We got the warm coming in, the cold coming down. It just keeps, about a system about every week. So maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll change.
We can't predict it or control it, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I'm going to go in and make us some tea. What do you think?
I'm ready.
Okay. I just have a few things up for Easter, just because the grandkids. And I've got this big picture down here. And then I've just got a few things over here. Just keeping it simple, not too much out. But I found these little pictures at a flea market. I was been a while back. And I'm pretty sure this is Beatrice Potter's, some of her pictures. And it may not be. But I just loved them. I thought these would look really cute just to set out at Easter time. Just keeping it simple. I've got a few things just out on the table. Not too much. Some of this stuff I already had out, and I just kind of added to it just a little bit. My little rabbit figurines I got at a flea market, of course. Sweet tea. It's good for the soul, especially when you're really thirsty. I want to show y'all an update on my raspberry vinegar. Y'all remember when we done this? I can't remember the date. It's been couple weeks ago though. And let me put y'all down here. Now, what I done is I put some water in this bag and put it on top to hold all that fruit down so that the fruit would be submerged and stay submerged underneath that water. Otherwise, you're liable to get mold on top. Okay, I can already smell the vinegar smell, but we're nowhere near where I want to be. So, you can see that the raspberries have lost their color pretty much. But I'm going to stick this back on there, and what you can do is if you need a little bit more water in there, you put it in there, but once you put this on top, it's going to kind of bring it back up. But what it's doing is holding those raspberry down in there. So I can smell it. It's smelling like vinegar already. And I'm going to go ahead and give it another couple weeks. And we'll come back and we'll check it again. And then if I think it's ready, I'll strain the raspberries out, and then we'll make vinaigrette out of it. Now, I had some people ask me, I think I confused them, because they wanted to know how come I put water instead of vinegar on top of my raspberries to make raspberry vinegar. Now, I'm making vinegar. This is what I'm doing here. I'm making vinegar. It's just that it's going to be a fruit vinegar. It's going to be raspberry vinegar. If you're using, if you're putting fruit in vinegar already, if you've already got vinegar and you stick your fruit in there, you're infusing your vinegar. It's already vinegar and you're just infusing it with fruit. But what I'm doing here, by covering it with water and letting it ferment for several weeks, I'm making my own vinegar, just like you would use your apple cores and your apple peelings to make apple cider vinegar. It's the same process. But I had a lot of people ask me, how come I didn't use vinegar? Why was I using water on top of my raspberries to make raspberry vinegar? Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm making vinegar. But if you put your fruit in vinegar that's already vinegar, then you're just infusing your vinegar. So that's the difference. So in a couple more weeks, we're going to have some really good raspberry vinegar. And those that started your vinegars with me, I hope you're not having any problems with it. I'm not. Mine doesn't, it's not showing any mold, any kind of white mildew on top or anything. And I think it's due to the fact that I constantly check it and make sure that I keep weight on top and keep the fruit submerged under the water. So that keeps it from the fruit from molding. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks and check this. But I just want to give y'all an update on the raspberry vinegar. And you can do any fruit that way. Always remember that. So tomorrow we start back to school. So we've had all last week off for our spring break. And me and Mr. Brown got a lot done. I didn't get a lot of videos put out because of the fact that we had so much to do here on the homestead. And it's just priorities. It's things that have to be done, or you just don't have a homestead, that's for sure. And plus we went and visited with family, spent time with family, and it's just things that need to be done. Like I said, priorities. But when we were home, we were just diligent, just working, because that's what it takes. I don't remember when I was showing you the babies. Y'all been asking about the pigs. We did sell 3 of them, 3 girls. They went to a good home, to another farm that raises coonies. So they all went bye-bye, 3 of them, and they're in a good place. So the ones we got left, of course, except for Peaches, we will put in the freezer because that's the reason we raise them, to eat and to sell a few to other people that want to raise and butcher some meat. And that's just a circle of life. That's just it. Our chickens are really outlaying themselves. They're doing really good. So, things are just prospering already, even though we've had some really cold weather and, you know, things are looking good. And we hope that stays that way. But we had a good spring break. Like I said, it was raining cold the whole time, but you make the best of it, that's for sure. And those of y'all that live in Springfield or around Springfield, me and Mr. Brown was there for a little bit, and we went back to the Bass Pro Shop and went through the museum and aquarium with the grandkids and some family members, and they really enjoyed it. So we had a good time there. We stayed at a really wonderful hotel there, and the kids played in the pool. So everything was good. But so now we're home. It's Sunday night. We have spent, besides this morning when we went to church, went to worship service, we have been on the go. And let's see, it's 7:30 right now. So ever since we got home from Batesville, we had to go to Home Depot and get a door and some floor covering. And we just been on the go ever since. We grabbed something to eat while we was in Batesville, so I haven't cooked any supper. Well, I probably won't cook any supper. If he's hungry, we'll just have to eat something like crackers and milk or something, cereal and milk, something. But anyways, this has been our day. This has been our week, our spring break. And we spend it most of the time working. But, I mean, when you're on a working homestead and there's always something to do. Every day, every single day, there's something to do, take care of. And we have to be good stewards of the land. We have to do what it takes to take care of our families. And that's just what the good Lord expects of us. So I hope y'all have had a good week and a good weekend too. And like we said earlier, there were some bad storms that went through and so many people suffering. And our hearts and our prayers go out to them. I'm telling you, these storms, they're coming pretty quick this spring, and it's not over yet either. So we want everybody to be careful. If you're able to get maybe a weather radio like we've got, it's an old one, that helps too to keep you updated on if a tornado or if a bad storm's coming or something like that. But just be diligent when you know that bad weather's coming. We can't stop everything, but we do the best we can to protect ourselves and our families. And it's just really sad, and it's really hard when all these bad storms come through in the middle of the night or wee hours of the mornings. That's when it's really bad, and it causes a lot of deaths and just a lot of heartache. So our prayers go out to everybody that was in the path of these bad storms, and we just hope that the communities come together and help all these people, and that the families that lost loved ones can find strength and peace through His Word and be able to pick up and go on. So we're going to say bye for now, and I'm thinking that I've got a couple more Lunch Lady recipes that I'm fixing to share because some people have been asking me about a couple of Lunch Lady recipes. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing some keto recipes, some more dry mixes, and just all the in-between stuff too. So y'all take care, and Mr. Brown, where's he at?
Hiding.
Oh, he's back here hiding. He's being quiet back here.
Thirsty.
Are you thirsty? Drink some of that sweet tea. But I'm telling them bye. I thought you might want to tell them bye since we ain't seen them in just a little while.
We've been
Busy. I told them we've been very busy.
but we're not complaining.
Nope, we ain't complaining. So
Not complaining.
we'll see you in a couple days. Like I said, I'm going to be having some recipes that people have been asking me about. I'm going to be sharing them because I want to get caught up on that. That's for sure.
And we start back to work.
And so I told them we start back to work. So God bless everybody. We'll see you and have a good week. Bye.